to the news that the tag team of John McCain and Lindsey Graham are going to support Rex Tillerson for Secretary of State. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think that they feel that they can control Tillerson to a certain extent. They know that they've got a counterintelligence investigation going on into the Trump campaign, and that any overly loving statements by Tillerson towards Moscow or any political actions at the State Department, they'll be able to quickly tamp that down. But they also believe that Trump has to have a cabinet, and considering how exciting this roller coaster is going to be, he needs a cabinet.
And he doesn't have all of his national security positions filled out. Does that concern you?
Well, of course it concerns us, considering that they wouldn't retain anybody from the Obama administration, and technically the United States government, as of tomorrow morning, is rudderless.
Yeah. They did ask, I should note, about 50 national security, I believe, at state to stay. 3 already said no. They were already packing up their offices. They literally gave them 24 hours notice, which is simply bizarre. Any thoughts on Tillerson?
I thought John McCain and Lindsey Graham were going to hold out and vote no because of his ties to Russia.
Yeah.
The best face I can put on this is both of them have decided that compared to some of the other guys, given what he said at the hearing, Tillerson might be more reasonable, but it is sort of distressing to watch Republicans fall in line behind Trump. Even people with the guts like McCain and Lindsey Graham, who've really spoken out against it.
Yeah, that brings us to, of course, one Marco Rubio, who wants to be president of the United States, but who has never shown much political courage. Do you expect him to be any different this time?
No, I don't, especially if those two have fallen in line. It is disappointing. You know, they talk a good game, but in the end, they all support him.
In the end, they all fall in line. All right, EJ, what's your headline?
My headline is media respond to the challenge of an administration willing to invent or deny facts.
Yeah.
And I think we already saw that this morning with Chuck Todd's response to Kellyanne Conway's alternative facts. But I think the media know that this effort to turn the gathering of truth and facts into a partisan act is a fundamental challenge to what a free media is supposed to do.
Yeah, and I mean, would you be surprised would it surprise you if suddenly the White House media pool started refusing Joan to show up to things?
It would surprise me, but I think we might be going there. I mean, I think we're starting to see people understand the way that they're going to be treated.
Yeah.
And
what's your headline? I'm sorry, I'm bringing it.
that's okay. Donald Trump has a massive legitimacy crisis. His first day in office, millions march against him. The media is getting wise to his maneuvers. It's going to be a very interesting next couple months.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to say, well, yes, torture is interesting, and this is going to be a very difficult time.
Yeah. And you know, I wanted to really quickly point out to all of you guys, to the point I think that both Joan and EJ have made, there were 2 interesting tweets from Donald Trump in the last 24 hours. One, his first response to the protest, his initial response, which sounds very Donald Trump, watched protests yesterday, but was under the impression that we just had an election. Why didn't these people vote? So let's hurt cause badly. All right, that's a very Trumpy tweet. Then all of a sudden this morning, and this was actually not long ago, not long after you started to see the outcry, the hue and cry against Sean Spicer really start to hit the Sunday show, suddenly we get this one. Peaceful protests are a hallmark of our democracy, even if I don't always agree. I recognize the right to